You're scrolling through your phone late at night, surrounded by hundreds of contacts, thousands of followers, and not one person to call. The silence in the room feels heavier than it should. Your chest feels tight in a way that has nothing to do with your body. But the real reason loneliness feels this way is far stranger and far older than sadness. It's not an emotion your brain invented to make you miserable. It's an alarm. And it might be one of the most dangerous signals your body can send. To understand why, you have to go back. Not to your last lonely night, not even to your childhood. You have to go back to a time when being alone didn't just feel bad. It was, quite literally, a death sentence. For most of human history, survival was never a solo project. A single human, cut off from the group, faced almost certain death. No one to watch for predators while you slept. No one to help gather enough food. No one to defend you if you were injured or sick. Groups meant safety. Isolation meant exposure, in every sense of the word. So the body evolved a warning system for it, the same way it evolved pain to warn you about a burn, or hunger to warn you about an empty stomach. Loneliness isn't a flaw in your emotional wiring. It's a biological alarm tuned by hundreds of thousands of years of evolution to say one very simple thing: get back to the group, or you might not survive. A researcher named John Cacioppo spent decades studying this alarm system directly. He found that loneliness doesn't just feel uncomfortable, it changes the body in measurable physical ways. People experiencing chronic loneliness show elevated levels of cortisol, the stress hormone your body releases when it senses danger. Their immune systems function differently, showing patterns more commonly seen in people under sustained physical threat. Cacioppo argued that the brain interprets prolonged social isolation the same way it interprets a lion in the grass, not as an inconvenience, but as an emergency. Think about what that means. Your body cannot easily tell the difference between being cut off from your tribe on an open plain 20,000 years ago and being cut off from meaningful connection in a crowded modern city. The alarm sounds the same either way. This explains something strange about loneliness that many people notice but rarely question. You can feel deeply lonely while surrounded by people, on a packed train, in a busy office, at a party full of laughter. The ancient alarm isn't counting how many bodies are nearby, it's asking a different question entirely. Do any of these people actually know you? Would any of them notice if you disappeared? Your ancestors didn't need dozens of acquaintances. They needed a small number of people who would fight for them, feed them, and remember them. Modern life gives you access to more human faces than any generation in history has ever seen. Yet the alarm was built to detect something else. Not proximity, belonging. There's a study that makes this even more concrete. Researchers at Brigham Young University, led by Julianne Holt-Lunstad, analyzed data from over 300,000 people and found that chronic loneliness carries a mortality risk comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Not a slight increase in risk, a comparable one. The body treats sustained isolation as seriously as it treats a pack-a-day habit, because for most of human history, it genuinely was that dangerous. This is where the story gets stranger. Loneliness doesn't just sit quietly in the background, making you sad. It actively distorts how you see the world around you. Studies on lonely individuals show they become hyper-vigilant to social threat, more likely to interpret a neutral expression as rejection, more likely to expect disappointment before it happens, more likely to withdraw exactly when reaching out would help most. This isn't a personality flaw. It's the alarm doing its job the only way it knows how. Ancient loneliness meant real danger, so the ancient brain responds to modern loneliness by preparing you for real danger, scanning constantly for rejection, threat, and abandonment. The tragic irony is that this defensive posture often pushes people further from the very connection that would turn the alarm off. So what turns it off? Not simply being near people. Not more likes, more messages, more names in a contact list. The alarm quiets specifically in response to felt connection. The sense that someone actually sees you, would notice your absence, would show up if you needed them. Cacioppo's research found that even small moments of genuine connection, a real conversation, a shared meal, physical closeness with someone you trust, can measurably lower the same stress markers that chronic loneliness raises. This is why a single close friend can sometimes do more for your well-being than 100 surface-level acquaintances. Your ancient alarm system was never counting numbers. It was always asking whether you actually belong somewhere, to someone. Understanding this changes how you might think about that heavy feeling on a quiet night. It isn't weakness. It isn't a character flaw you need to fix through sheer willpower. It's your body running one of its oldest and most important survival programs, the same program that once kept your ancestors close to the fire, close to their people, alive. If you feel that ache tonight, scrolling through a phone full of names that don't quite reach you, it might help to remember what that ache is actually for. It's not there to punish you. It's there to point you somewhere, back toward the people who would notice if you were gone, back toward the fire your ancestors never let go out. The alarm that once meant a lion in the grass now sounds the same in a silent apartment, in a crowded room, in the blue glow of a phone screen at midnight. It's asking the same question it has always asked, not how many people surround you, but whether any of them would come looking if you disappeared. Answer that question, even for one person, and the ancient alarm, built by every ancestor who ever needed the fire, finally goes quiet.